guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy. He is 31 years old. He's in the National Guard, and he's going to share his story about events that started in 2014 when he met the girl that became eventually his wife. Unfortunately, you're going to see real quick in the story when he met her, she wasn't exactly girlfriend material, let alone wife material, and you're going to see more to that when I get into it. I mean, it is obvious. And this story is all about pretty much how you can't turn a you-know-what into a housewife. But fortunately, you're going to see that eventually the guy will come out on top because, to no surprise, you're going to see that she, as in the old stories that you can't turn a you-know-what into a housewife, things don't go very well with her in terms of the loyalty department, and she obviously cheats on this guy. However, this guy is much smarter than her, much more cunning, and he's able to end this and come out on top. But he obviously learns an important lesson, and we can go from there. So a lot of lessons in this story, guys. Again, you can't turn a you-know-what into a housewife. Paying attention to obvious red flags, not getting involved with gals like this, and a lot of other things, how you can start over amongst moving on from a divorce and all that. So that'd be a pretty good, entertaining one to end the week. So he starts off, he says, hello, SSM. First of all, let me say I really enjoy your videos when I'm on a ruck, march out, or running. Keep doing what you are doing. This story is long, but it will compress when and where I can. Well, bro, thank you for watching me. I appreciate it. He says, I am 31 years old, no kids, and have been in the National Guard for 13 years. My service is my focus and always has been since I joined in 2008. Unfortunately, this makes it hard to maintain another job as I've gone a lot for the National Guard. As you can imagine, this has led to a few financial issues in the past. In 2014, I met my now ex-wife while I was fresh out of college and looking for a new place to set up shop. I met Ashley at the National Guard Armory when I invited a few girls that I was interested in. Ashley stuck out as the small, cute, and shy girl. Yeah, it's always the cute, shy girls that are the craziest. We started talking and hit off big time and ended up sleeping together with two other girls that night in the armory. Dude. You and three other chicks? I get the whole men in uniform thing is attractive to women, but holy shit, you're a freaking stud. But remember, wear protection and dispose of that protection. And I don't exactly encourage you guys to be riding the clam carousel, but, you're young, have a little fun, but be careful, don't be too crazy. Anyhow, he says, I'm very picky about cheaters and how they should be treated. All the girls involved said they were single. And he says in parentheses, that was a lie. Well, you know what? It says a lot if that night you met them, not only was one willing to hook up with you like that moment you met her, but other girls were jumping in the sack too. What does it say about, obviously, their character? 3 days later, Ashley and I were talking all the time and seemed to really enjoy our time together. I made it clear that I was not willing to date, and she seemed okay with that. It was then I discovered that Ashley was in a failing relationship with another guy from the unit. Oh shit, you're hooking up with a girl from another guy that is in the service. Now, that's not your fault, you didn't know, but what does it say about her? This pissed me off, and I told her we were done hanging out because I do not associate with cheaters and liars. Good, very good. The problem is you don't stick to that mindset. The next day, the soldier that she was in the relationship with reached out to me and told me that night that we hooked up, they had a big fight, and he walked out on her, having ended the relationship. I was foolish and let her back into my life. Smack. Dude, she demonstrated everything you need to know about her character. She's a cheater and a liar. And if you think that she's going to be any different with you if you get serious with her, which you did, you're out of your damn mind. However, this was 2014, so it was 8 years ago. So at the time, let's do the math here. You're 31 now. You were 23 years old. You didn't know any better. And of course, like many guys, any girl that would, in a heartbeat, have three-somethings or with more girls, your typical young guy is going to turn that down. So, but you've learned. He says here, I was foolish and let her back into my life. I now know that I know that was not very smart. Ash and I picked up right where things left off. Things are great. We had three-somethings and lots of fun in the sheets. In 2015, I decided that we should try dating as I hadn't seen any red flags from her and wanted to risk it. Smack. You haven't seen any red flags. She demonstrated all the red flags you knew in 2014 when you hooked up with her that night, and she technically she and the guy broke up, but right then and there, that night, probably within hours, she's out hooking up with you. And by the way, the fact that she hooked up with you right then after just meeting her and with other girls, that's not girlfriend material, man. That's friends with benefits material, for occasional roll in the hay. I mean, looking back, guys, I want you to be careful for you young guys who do dating and all that, to how much riding the clam carousel, if you will, that you're going to do, because you don't want to catch anything or get a girl pregnant or anything like that. He says, everything was going perfect, and in 2016, we moved in together. Smack. Now you're moving in with this girl? This isn't going to go well. Again, you only move in with a girl unless you're actually going to marry her, and you most certainly shouldn't have been thinking about marrying her. After more than 2 years, I asked her to marry me, and she very quickly said yes. Smack. Why the hell would you marry this girl? I mean, I really hope that she was that cute and that good in the sack, but even then, it's not worth it. But let's just see what happens next. He says, I was worried about leaving her alone as I was deployed. This is where issues start. Well, bro, and I know this happened when you were much younger, but if you actually have to be seriously worried about leaving her when you're deployed, you should have married her. I mean, it's common sense. During the deployment, everything went well as I had a friend of mine keeping an eye on the house and tabs on my wife. When I got back, I realized she was heavily drinking all the time and had gained a bit of weight. 15 pounds and a 4'10" female is very noticeable. I was able to get her back into shape, but unable to kick the drinking. This led a lot of arguments and dried up SCX that we had. I was going to take a few jobs out of state to start making myself more money and doing something I love, but she did not want to move away from family, so I turned them down like an idiot. So I took dead-end jobs I hated just to keep us afloat. So you married her. She put on a bunch of weight. There's a stereotype. The SCX dried up. There's another stereotype. What else? She started drinking a lot. Okay? And now you want to have an opportunity to make more money because it sounds like you're the major breadwinner here. And you didn't do it because she didn't want to move. If you'd known this stuff before you married her, you probably would have married her, amongst the many other reasons. That was a situation for you to take charge and say, oh, no. I'm obviously the breadwinner here, and yada, yada, yada. No, we're going to move. In early 2020, I noticed Ashley was in a happier mood and was going to her mom's way more often. The SCX picked up, and I didn't think too much about it at the time. A few months later, I was off on some orders when the guy who was watching the house texted me a picture of a car outside my house and asked if I knew who it was. I had no idea. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Can't take a HOE out of the. You can't turn a HOE into a housewife. You can't take the trailer park, the girl out of the trailer park, or whatever the hell that line is. You can take a girl out of the trailer park, but you can't take the trailer park out of the girl. That's the line. And no offense to you guys that are watching that live in trailers. It says here, we found out that the car was there all night and left early in the morning the next day. Then it was outside again the next night and the following weekend. At this point, I knew, but needed to know more intel before Operation Mind F was a go. I am a very prepared man. I like to have a plan for anything that might come my way. This was no different. So I never told her how the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, works. I had her believe that due to her having a DOD number, she was subject to it as well and all its laws. Finally, I got the pictures and proof I needed, and so began the Operation Mind, F-U-C-K. She did not know that I was aware of her cheating, but knew something was off, but I kept my cool as much as I could and stopped all the bedroom fun with her. Well, that would be a red flag to her. She would know something was up. This was phase one, as she surprised me when she filed for divorce, in which she wanted one of the cars and told me that we would be happier apart. Looking back, I should have done that, but with the outcome I got, I'm not that upset. On Thanksgiving Day, I called her from home and told her that I had found out about her cheating and lying, and that if she didn't want them to be filed with the JAG office, she had better be at home with Jody. When I got back, this was 0900 in the morning, so she had no time to spend with her family that day. I spent all day worrying and taking her. He wrote this a little off. Day away from her, and to my surprise, Jody was there when I got there at 1700 that evening. He says, by the way, Jody is the guy that she cheated with. Little military code there. In phase 3, when I got home, I didn't say a word to any of them, and they were sitting there in different seats away from each other, just pulled out my phone and pressed record. In my best professional voice, I and the military legal speak I could became to question them both about the time and locations of the extramarital S-word conduct that had taken place. I made it clear that for the DoD personnel, this was a maximum of 1 year in jail for each charge, being extra careful to never once say if she was or was not subject to those laws. The plan was a success, and she was willing to let me have whatever I wanted during the divorce. Nice move, bro. What she doesn't know hurts her. On the day of the divorce being finalized, I let her know that she was not subject to any UCMJ action, and that she should have done her research on how that works and walked away happy and free, knowing that I got all I wanted from this jacked up event in my life. Now I've moved up 2 whole ranks and have a promising future, as I'm planning to try my hand at Special Forces in the coming year. Awesome, bro. You're a badass. I now work full-time with the NG and am in the best shape of my life, and money is no longer an issue, and my retirement is looking very promising, as I should be able to retire fully at 42. I hope this makes the channel, as it would be nice to have this shared, but if not, it's cool. Keep doing what you're doing and giving the advice I wish I had before this BS happened to me. I will continue to share your videos with friends that I think need your help. Thank you and happy hunting. Well, bro, I appreciate you sending this story, and that was a good one there. Made a lot of mistakes when you were younger, but you were young, just like all of us were, including me. I made a lot of boneheaded mistakes when I was younger too, but I learned, and just like many guys, they learn. But I'm really happy that you came out of this. This all happened in your 20s, so at least, you got out of it and you're doing well for yourself now. And this goes to show you guys that you can have some shit happen and mess up, which we all do, but you can move on. Now, it's not as easy for a lot of guys. I'm sure many of you guys have heard stories I've done where guys they've been married for a long time, and even though they didn't do anything wrong, they lost the house. The wife got pretty much full custody or most custody with the kids, and big alimonies and all that stuff there. But this guy walked away not having to give her anything, which is awesome. So my advice is, going forward, be very careful with the girls that once you start dating again. Well, I'm sure you've been dating, but you get my point. Be careful. Okay? Just because she's wild and crazy in the sack doesn't mean that she's girlfriend material or wife material. In fact, in a situation like that where he met her that day, and obviously within actually probably hours, they're already hooking up, and she brought two or three of her friends involved. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that was a lot of fun. You walked out with a big smile on your face, but that's not girlfriend material, let alone wife material. So I would recommend you keep focusing on your purpose, being the best you can be, stay in the great shape. And, again, thank you for your service, bro. And when you're out at 42, you can probably come up with something really cool you want to do with the rest of your life, I mean, obviously you're going to be taken care of, but still, I don't want you to stop at 42. For a guy should always be on his purpose and on his grind. Always. Now to the day we die. Some good reason to get us out of bed, some new goals to strive for, ways to better ourselves. But this is a really good story, and I'm glad you're doing well. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, if you got a great story you'd like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just make sure that you write it well. Make it easy for me to read and go over on camera. Be sure to proofread it before you send it to me. Make sure that the punctuation, the spelling, the way no run-on sentences and all that, because sometimes I get stories I think are good, but it's written so badly I just have to delete it because I cannot do that. I got too much stuff coming in. But if it's a good one, just give me time and I'll get to it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.